Hey traders, Parker here with another indicator. Today I've been introduced you to the hourly ATR levels, and for the most part, what's in the indicator is you can change the length. It's a simple. It's based on an hour. You can go up to higher or lower time frames if you want to, and what it does is use the open of each candle. Usually, the open of each candle is the previous close of the previous closing price. So, but you can get into situations like on the daily or sometimes on a weekly or even lower time frames where stock gaps up and it won't be the same. But for the most part, use the open, and usually the open is the previous close of a candle. So what it does is it adds or subtracts one ATR or ATR. This would be one ATR, two ATR, and three ATR. So it gives you three different levels. So it did three different averages away from the opening price, and that's usually and it gives you these predictive levels. So that's how it's used, and for the most part, it's a short-term indicator or a indicator used on an hourly basis, and you can see right here how effective it was for the S&P 500. So this is the hour that's pre-market, and it actually went up to the one times ATR, found resistance at two times ATR, and found support right back where the one times ATR was. And you can see how it started moving up from there. This is the next closing or the next opening candle for this hour. And then from there, you got it going up to one times ATR, two times ATR, pulled back, and it ranged for the next hour. Right now, it's just ranging. This line right here is just showing you the open average. And it should be simple. Simple open average at 12. So the reason why I'm using 15 on here is because there is, let me move my calculator over. So 5 times 24. So that's hours in a day. Stock market usually, hours in a working week. Stock market usually open about 8 hours a day. So I just divide about 8, and that's how I got my hours. And I've used on 15. You can change that. You don't have to use my logic, but that's my way of thinking. And you can see how it responded to it. And we can go back and we can look at yesterday's price action. And for the most part, this was the opening hour right here. It fell to that one times ATR, couldn't hold it. If you look at the increase of volume level, so it's pushing down. And you can see how it came close to that 3 times ATR. Pause for a second. The next opening candle was this last closing, previous close right here. And you can see how it pushed down to 1 times ATR and 2 times ATR, then 3 times ATR. And for the most part, we're using ATR as an average true range. So on average, this candle moves such and such. And that's what you're getting right here. So this stock moves such and such, I should say. So the average true range, or one average true range for this candle, for this stock is $6.17 on an hourly. So we're coming back to here, and it's for each hour. So you can use these 1 times ATR, 2 times ATR. You can use those target levels as your certain targets. The stock moves on average this much or this far on each hour. So you can use it like that, and you can use the other ones for your risk levels. I didn't put any midpoints in there, but you can probably see it from there that if you want to use the midpoints of these points, maybe I should put them in there. So I shouldn't be saying this on the video, but so I went ahead and added midpoints to those to the ranges. But if they are bothersome or that you don't find them useful, you can always just unclick them or unshow them. So for the most part, you can see right here, this is the candles open right here, the previous. You can say the open of the hour. It fell to that midpoint, but you can see where it's kind of reacting. But you could say it's reacting on low volume. and you can see it did a decrease in volume, just going down. And but this is a big range, at least in my opinion, whatever. But for the most part, I wouldn't expect this to keep going up or possibly find. I would expect this to come back down just because of the amount of volume that's been displayed on this candle right here. And volume is the driver for any of these stocks. So even if we just put on the relative volume standard deviation, and I'm going to put it to 12, and I'm going to show, you can look at even right now. So this would be what Ann Coulin would call a false signal by market makers pushing inflating price, or inflating the range. And this move is not justified by volume, but it's to trap people and then bring the price even lower. So this move right here is not confirmed by volume. Look at the amount of volume on this candle. You got one green candle right here. And let me change my my trend to close. And you can still see it right there. So even if I brought my signals indicator on, this would be a triangle. A triangle would show you that volume is below average, the range is above average. So I'm just sitting up here watching it for the most part. It got back above the open, but it's still, when you look at it compared to volume, and even the blue is just showing you the past volume. So, and that's all it's showing you, just past 12 bars, the volume on the past 12 bars, and it's just a volume comparison. But for the most part, we're looking at this one candle right here, and it got back above the open, average, but we know that the amount of volume on this candle is not justifying the move, even though it's above the previous candle. So we got, it's 3 seconds left for this candle to close. I still don't agree with the body, how wide this candle is from high to low, and the stock price moving up. I'm not saying that it can't or won't do anything, but for the most part right now, it's great just because of where the closing price is. So we'll watch this for a moment. And how much time we got left? I guess I should have more so put it on a 1 minute chart. Let's do that. There we go, right there. Let me make sure. Yeah, it dropped down to that 1/2 mark. We go to the 1 minute chart, and I'll change my volume to 15. That gives 15 minutes worth of data. But you got a strong reaction, I say, on this 1 minute chart compared to our 5-minute chart, which showed a very weak reaction at this level, volume wise anyway. But price wise, you look at volatility, we go to the ATR. And simple. We zoom in. So volatility is increasing on this 1 minute chart according to ATR. And I forgot to look at my my average that I'm using for my relative volume. It is changed colors from magenta or that purple color to this cyan color. Cyan is just showing you that volatility is increasing, or ATR is increasing on average, and the purple is just showing you that volatility is decreasing on average. And that's basically what we're seeing right here. Even though volume is going down, so I'll get rid of ATR just so I can look at my, yeah. So even though right now volume average is decreasing, but the ATR is increasing. So we'll push it back to the 3-day, to the 5-minute chart. And you can see how ATR started decreasing right here, but volume average kept going up. When I say volume average, I'm looking at the actual line and judging that, hey, it's averaging up. But ATRs started average. They both started averaging down here, but ATR averaged up or started increasing, and then it decreased. I got on 15. So for the most part, this is the indicator. I was just looking for that moment to show you some live action on the indicator. So these dots are just showing you the halfway marks or halfway points. If you don't want them, just go over here and just unselect them, or you can change them however you want to change them. So I just put them as midpoints, but you can go in there and change them however you see fit. So you can change them however you want to. Change the colors, but for the most part, this is how the indicator works. And like, it got back above that open, got back above the open average, and it's trying to push above, but you can see it's just on weak volume. But one of the things I like to do is change it over to either the Heikin-Ashi or the H. So we changed it over to Heikin-Ashi. It's just showing you just trend as well. But for the most part, you got all that selling over there, but I'd rather keep it on the H2. And I don't know, it's just having a difficult time right now. ATR, the purple. Let me just make it a little more pronounced. You can see this is my average line for volume. And like I said, when it turns cyan, that means ATR average is increasing. And when it turns purple, it means ATR average is decreasing. ATR is decreasing. So it gives you somewhat of a sense of volatility in the stock, or without actually having a ATR line on the stock or average true range indicator on the stock. And you got the average true ranges down here as well, but that's based off this time period. So we can bring it back to this day right here. So this would be the open for the day, or this would be actually open hour for that day. And you see how the stock really moved within its average true range for those hours. So you can see right here, it got caught up in between this mid range, these mids right here, broke below and went down to the gold lines, always 2 times ATR. Then you got this next gray line right there. So But for the most part, this is the midpoint. This is your open. This is where the average true range are being pushed from. And you can see this is one average true range is gray lines. 2 times average true range is the gold line, and 3 times is the cyan line, or average true range. And you can see right here also this wasn't a very volatile period during this time period. Everything was stable, and then you can see when the prices started to change, or the volatility actually started increasing. You see how the ATR box, or whatever you want to call it, actually fluctuated as well, but you didn't get much fluctuation here. But this just gives you an hourly perspective of ATR, and I don't think it's gonna the S&P 500 because it's after 10 o'clock. So let's go look at the actual SPY. It's after 10 o'clock, so everything should have calmed down by now. And Apple took off. Apple looks nice, especially if you looked at this hourly, the open for this hour, and then Apple just took off to 1 times ATR, pushed up to 2 times ATR, came back, found support at 1 times ATR. The next hour occurred, and you can see how it's just fluctuating from there. And this half mark right here, and then it finally broke above the half mark to the next 1 times ATR from this open to this half mark, range for a little bit right there, and then pushed into this half right here. I wanted to see something. What did I name that thing? 1, 2, 3, my inside day indicator. So it was a range right here. I saw it. Range for a little bit, and then it pushed above. So this is going to be the end of the video. I hope what I said was informative for you. Please don't take this for any type of financial advice telling you to buy or sell any stock or anything. This is just how the indicator. This is just a demonstration of how the indicator works. If you find it useful, look in the description and you can get the indicator there. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding the indicator or regarding anything, please leave them in the comment section. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. And I want to say thank you for listening to what I had to say. I hope it helped you. Stay safe and God bless.